Hi, I'm Liz. Welcome to the channel. I am a medical technologist and pharmaceutical chemist with over 30 years of experience in the medical sector and regulated products industry. Today, I wanted to talk about something called the Eat to Live Challenge. If you're someone who is trying to get rid of chronic inflammation or reverse a medical condition, or if you're just trying to lose weight, you're going to want to hear this. So let's get into it today on the Carnivore Science Channel. So, what is the Eat to Live Challenge? Well, it is where you learn to eat to live as opposed to living to eat. If you're an American, you've probably spent most of your life living to eat. In the morning, you probably get up and you can't wait until you eat breakfast. And then after you eat breakfast, about an hour afterwards, you start planning your lunch. And you can't think of anything until lunch. Then after lunch, yep, you're dreaming of dinner. So, in order to change this behavior, there's more to it than just a diet. We got to have a restructure of our brains. Everybody in this country is so sick. So how about instead of living to eat, we learn to eat to live? It's as simple as that. So step one, what do we need to do? Step one, you need to either eat a keto diet or a carnivore diet. Now, a keto diet is where you are eating real foods, and this is real food keto diet, not dirty keto. When you go to the store and you see the middle of the store and there's all this stuff with keto stamped on it, that is not what I'm talking about. I am talking about real food that is keto friendly. All you got to do is look up in the internet. You can look up on Google and say keto diet foods. Just make sure they're whole foods, nothing processed, nothing in the middle of the store. Vegetables, meats, and very important, high fat. So keto or carnivore. Carnivore is going to be all meat products, animal products. Now, a lot of people have dairy products kind of lumped into that because, milk comes from a cow, etc. However, just be aware if you're trying to lose weight, I would stay away from dairy. It's not your friend in that case. And then some people with inflammation have problems too. Keep in mind, you have to look at your situation, where you're starting, like what kind of diet are you doing now to determine what type of diet you're going to start with. If you're standard American diet and you're addicted to sugar, you're going to have to go through sugar withdrawals. And then you have to think about how drastic the change is on your body. You will have to go through transition either way. If you're standard American diet especially, your body has to equilibrate. You have to transition into burning fat, your fat for fuel. That takes a little bit of time. It's different for each person. So if you're standard American diet, I recommend going keto first and then moving to carnivore. But it's up to you and what you can handle. So that is your step one. Step two, once you have transitioned over to the keto and or carnivore diet, what you need to do is start thinking about your response to food. You're going to look at what's called satiety cues. Now, satiety is that feeling your body gives you when you're full. When you're full and you don't want to eat anymore, that is satiety. The problem is with the standard American diet and the way that we live to eat, you end up hijacking that system. Your satiety cues don't really work. For example, if you eat engineered food, like processed food that is engineered to make you addicted to it, it bypasses the satiety response. It just does. That's the reason you can't eat just one Lay's potato chip kind of thing. So you have to, now that you're eating actual food, you're eating food that nourishes your body, look for those satiety cues. What you're going to find out is that you're going to, when you're hungry, when you're full, you're going to stop eating. And when you're hungry, your body should tell you. Now, the only caveat I have to this is that one of the cues, which is the hunger cue, like where you think you're hungry, a lot of times that can be psychologically rooted. So let's say you are watching the Super Bowl or something, and you're watching food ads, and you start to crave something. You remember the high you got off of that food from a long time ago. Like, let's say I've been on Carnivore for 2 years. I'll see a certain commercial about a certain food that I used to love, and I'll start wanting it again. But it's not a physiological type of response, it's psychological. It's a nostalgic type of thing. I want that experience again, but it's for the experience. It's not because I'm hungry. So know the difference between craving something, jonesing for something, and actually being hungry. There is also the physiological component of cravings, not really hunger, but cravings, that you have to take into consideration if you've been on the standard American diet. The best example of that is my kids. They come in at the end of the day and they're like, I'm starving. I am starving to death. And they're literally cranky and whatever else because they don't eat like I do. So they're constantly complaining. And I'm like, when's the last time you ate? And it would be something like 4 hours ago. And it would be crap. Whatever they ate was crap. They are having cravings. They are not hungry. We as humans need to understand what hunger actually is, because if you are eating and you are not actually hungry, you're hurting yourself. You're not supposed to eat food if you're not hungry. You can enjoy your food. I enjoy the food that I eat, but you're not supposed to eat for sport. That is what is killing everybody in this country. Also, make sure that you get enough salt. Make sure that you get the proper electrolytes, stay hydrated, all that kind of good stuff, because a lot of times thinking that you can feel like you're hungry when you actually are lacking something like that. So pay attention to your hunger signals. Your satiety signals should start to work. I mean, have you ever seen anybody gorge themselves on steak? I haven't. That would be disgusting. Outside of the guy from Monty Python, bring me a bucket. Okay. I don't know what he was eating, mutton or something. Anyway, but that is not something that really happens. If you're eating Snicker bars, you can go off the deep end. If you're eating Lay's potato chips, can't eat just one, remember? So you can eat a buttload of those. But if you're eating nutrient-dense food, you're not typically going to go off the deep end. If you don't conquer this, if you don't understand this response, nothing that you do is ever really going to work, because we're addicts and we're going to have to break the addiction in order to become healthier as a nation, because most everybody's in the same boat in this country. Step 3, journaling. Yes, journaling. I know people are like, but seriously, if you don't write down every day, or at least most of the time, what makes you feel good, what problems you have, how you wake up, your energy levels. If you don't capture all this information, your digestive upsets, then it's going to be hard to know which foods actually agree with you, especially for those people who suffer from chronic inflammation. You're trying to reverse that. You need to keep track of what you eat, how you sleep, how much of certain thing you eat, how many times a day you eat. All of these things change over time with respect to how they make you feel. So you have to keep track of it in order to know. Like, some people eggs are very, very healthy to eat, but a lot of people have some inflammation problems when they eat eggs. So they do better when they only eat ruminant animals. If they're eating, the lion diet, which I do a video talking about the different types of carnivore. Lion diet, you can look at that too, but the lion diet is ruminant animals and like water. Like, it's very basic. You don't have a lot of diversity of food in that. A lot of people do beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, and that works for them. But if you don't know after you're eliminating all the bad stuff, you should originally, like, you get off of standard American diet, you're going to feel better just because you're not eating the garbage. But as you go along, you're going to want to know what affects you in what way, what makes you feel the best. And this is going to be your own personal journey. So journaling and keeping a log of all of the things you eat and how you feel and what you notice along the way is critical in order for this to work. So that is step number 3. Step number 4. This one is where you conquer your social and emotional attachment to food. This is a big one. It is the biggest one of all of them. It is bigger and harder than going through withdrawals from sugar. It's bigger than the addiction to the stuff in the middle of the grocery store. It's bigger than all of it. Your social and emotional attachment to food. We talked a little bit about satiety cues and how you're used to them being hijacked, and you have to learn how to do this correctly or how to interpret these signals correctly. This is similar, but it is also, psychological in a lot of ways. We as a society have just rallied around food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And no matter what we do, no matter what the event, we're actually doing it around food, and we involve food in everything that we do. It's been since we were children, most of us. Everything you do, there's food involved, and it's social. There's a lot of social expectations from people about going out to eat, for instance. What do people do on weekends? They go out to eat for entertainment purposes. And I get the fact that I used to like going out to eat because I didn't have to cook anything. I was able to relax more, have somebody wait on me kind of thing. But if you think about it, people are going out to eat a lot. They're spending a lot of money on it, and it's just, it's a favorite pastime. You go out to eat, especially on the weekends. And it's an event. It's entertainment. It's not just sustenance. It's not just, nourishing your body. So when you can't do those things anymore, or you're limited in that, because when you go over to someone's house and they're having a dinner, typically you're going to see a lot of starches, you're going to see a lot of carbohydrates, a lot of sweets, dessert, things like that, because they're doing this for entertainment purposes in most cases. This is going to be hard. It is hard. So you have to learn, if you want to get rid of your medical condition, if you want to get rid of the inflammation, the only way to do it is to break away from this social and emotional tie that we have to food. That's the only way to do it, because if it's either your health or these foods that you love so much that are killing you. You have to figure out how you're going to cope with that, or how you're going to deal with it. And it can be done. Most everything I've thought about when I would think about doing the carnivore diet back in 2022 when I started this, everything I thought of that I was going to miss, I just thought it was impossible. And it felt like it at first, but then everything ended up being fine, because if you feel so bad, you feel so terrible, and you want to make this better, you want to change your life, when you do, and this works, believe me, there's no birthday cake that's good enough. There is nothing that can tempt you to go back to all of that pain and all of that inflammation or all of the obesity. I don't like being 100 pounds overweight. I was miserable. I remember fondly, and I'm never going to let go of what that felt like to be 100 pounds overweight. I was miserable. I am never going to let go or forget how it felt to have the medical conditions I had. They are gone, and my life is so much better now. So you have to remember to remind yourself of what it is that you want in life. And it's usually not going to be a donut or a birthday cake. If you really think about it, that is a fleeting craving. It's not something that you can't live without. In fact, you really can't live with it, at least not for very long. So that's it. It's that simple. That's my version of an Eat to Live challenge. It's not very sexy, it's not much of a novelty, but if you do this and actually try to do it at least 30 days, more like 60 to 90 days, give it a chance, you'll be surprised at how this can change your life. I hope this helps you, and if you like the video, please hit the like button for me, and if you want to, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.